Welcome to this first creator chat that I've actually ever done. It's been something I've been wanting to do on the YouTube channel for a long time, is talk to creators like yourself that are part of my community, that are really like on the ground, getting it done, putting in the work, creating the content, pitching, all of it, which I know you do on a day-to-day. And I just wanted to take this opportunity to kind of like just chat with you, ask you some questions about your journey, and introduce you to my community here at the channel. I know a lot of people tune into Sidewalker are very, like you, starting out, figuring it out at all levels of the biz. So maybe we could start with like just a quick intro. Maybe you could tell me a little bit about yourself, the Melanin Method. The floor is yours.
Awesome. My name's Erin, and I'm the creator behind the Melanin Method. I started it because I became a licensed esthetician back in 2020. Wasn't really super huge fan of actually providing facials and touching people. I like the educational aspect of it. So that's why I decided to go into content creation, because obviously in 2020, there was a huge boom in content creators, influencers across all niches on all platforms, especially in the skincare space for sure. We saw a huge boom in that. So I decided to make my own Instagram. And at this point, I just like teaching people about skincare, making it fun and simple, but also providing that professional expertise on it with my license. So
I love it because it's super, just from like watching your channel and getting to know you, it's very educational, but and also this just very like humanistic style way. Like you talk about all the things and you make it light. And I think anyone can tune in to the content that you make and be excited about it. I want to ask, I guess, what inspired you to like really do this? Not like half do it, because I know you personally now through working together, but really, I think what kind of gave you the confidence, or what made you say, you know what, like, I don't want to just do this on the sidelines. Like, I want to like go hard and like actually build my own brand, because I think that's what you're in the process of doing.
Yeah, for sure. I honestly would say, it's going to sound weird, but I guess the doubt from other people thinking that I can't do it was definitely a big factor. Also, who doesn't want to make money doing something that they like to do? And obviously, like working a 9-to-5, you have a boss and you have, these expectations that are placed on you, which you have that yourself as a content creator and influencer, but you're kind of in charge of like when you promote yourself or level up yourself in terms of like rates or how much you want to take on. And I just like the flexibility of it. And I've always wanted to be my own boss. I just never knew how to do it. And being a content creator is something that I really like to do. I like making content. It's something that I've loved doing since I was younger, even before money was even a factor. So
I wanted to kind of just shout out where you're at in terms of like where you play. So I guess the platforms you're on, and then maybe the numbers you have per account. I think that's like also important to set the stage. Can you share which accounts, like what platforms you play on, and kind of like where you're at in those platforms?
Yeah, for sure. Instagram is definitely my number one. I'm just like a little over 8,000. I started it back in like 2020. I didn't actually start taking it serious though until like maybe summer 2021. That's when I found Sidewalker. And that's when I was like, let me take this more seriously. It's fun. I like doing it. But yes, I just have a little over 8,000 followers. I really like the community I've created on there. And then I wanted to kind of dive into TikTok. Just started TikTok like end of last year. So I only have like 100 or so followers, nothing too crazy. I know it's just really casual. So I'm just trying to figure out myself on there. And then I did post a couple YouTube videos. It's like almost a year ago at this point, and they got really good views. I just hadn't gone back to it. So I plan to get back to that soon. And that's at around like a 1.2K subscribers.
So that may be a goal for you looking forward, like more YouTube or like figuring out that portion of your biz. That could be something. Yeah. It's like once you figure out what works on one platform. So like, for example, you have Instagram dialed in. It's like, okay, now where can I go? What's really hard is when you decide to jump ship when you don't even know like when it's, like at least now you have like your Instagram, like you figured it out, you figured out your flow, and then you can, focus on a different platform. Okay, so let's start with, I think it'd be really cool if you share that win that you shared on the call the other day, because I think it will help those that are on the fence about investing in themselves, 8,000 followers, just starting out, arguably, but now starting to see the benefits of the work that you've been putting in for over a year. I always like to share the expectation of time. I never promote get rich quick or magic pills or that is like my biggest pet peeve. Like everyone being like, yeah, you can do it. I'm like, you probably can't. So I wanted to set that tone because I know you've been working at this for probably close to a year, but could you share a little bit of that awesome win that you shared the other day that had me all like in my feels with your pitching, after completing the Pitching to Brands Master course?
Yeah, for sure. So just like a little backstory.
Yes, backstory.
Whenever I saw that you guys were offering the Pitching to Brands Master course and you're going to do like the 4 weeks, I was like, oh, I have to do it. Because the first time I did the like Instagram accelerator like course thing, I did the 4 weeks and I really enjoyed it. So I was like, I have to do it. And I remember talking to my mom about it and I was like, hey, I really want to do this thing. And obviously her question is like, how much is it? Because I'm just in college, I just have a part-time job. It's not like I have money to just be blowing on things.
Yeah.
I told her how much it was. She was like, you don't have the money for that. Like, don't take money out of your savings for this. You don't need this. Like, just hold off and wait till you're set. And I was like thinking to myself for a couple days because I knew the deadline was coming up and I was like, I got to get this done. Like I have to find a way to get this done. So I figured out like a little budgeting plan for myself and how I would, put the money back if I took it out of my savings and everything. So I figured it out. I was able to get into the program. So I think maybe 2-ish weeks in, technically, like after our second meeting, a brand had reached out to me on some content I had created. They just wanted to whitelist the content. And I brought that one to Sidewalker and I was in the email they sent me, they were asking like, if you want any other products sent, like we'd love to send them to you, but I already use the brand all the time anyways. So I just let them know like, no, but I do like have a couple of ideas. I'd love to schedule like a Zoom call with you. Which is something like I would not have known how to like shift that to land like a paid,
which is like my specialty.
Yeah. So I'm happy that I had taken the course and like went through some stuff already at that point. So I was able to kind of like shift it to not be more than just like a paid thing and maybe work with them long term. And they immediately got back to me and offered me a 6-month long sponsorship for $1,000 a month for a total of $6,000, which is insane. And it's my first brand I've really ever worked with on a paid capacity. And I thought you had to have like all these followers to get this kind of money or to be even asking for this kind of money. I didn't even really ask them. They were just like, oh, she likes the products. Like, let's just.
Yeah, like you're a perfect actual fit for the brand. Like it makes sense because they were going to give you all this stuff and you're like, I actually already use it. So what did mom say?
So I actually went behind my mom's back and got it. I didn't tell her about it. Anytime I had meetings or anything, I would just be like, oh, it's for a college class or, like she wouldn't know. And then when I had gotten that deal, I let my mom and my dad know. I was like, hey, like this brand wants to pay me this money. And they're like, oh, that's so awesome. Like, we're so happy for you. I was like, yeah. And then I just casually brought up like, so that course paid for itself. And they were just like, what course? And I was like, the one you told me not to buy because I got it and it's paid for itself and we're not even done with the course. We're like halfway through. And they were just like, oh my gosh. But I'm like, but it helped me. Like I would not have gotten that deal. It would have just still been what I've been doing, which is like gifted things. So of course they were a little like, are you serious? But also at the same time, it's like, I would not have gotten here. Like,
so here's what we're gonna do. When you're at like next level, have your own brand at Sephora, we're gonna interview mom and we're gonna bring her on. It's like Oprah, we're gonna bring her on. No, I think that's, obviously, I think that what is so cool about your story is there's a lot of elements, right? One, under 10,000 followers, which everyone sets like this myth that you have to have a certain number. And I'm just always like, guys, no, it's not true. So a couple of things that stand out here. One, your follower count. 2, the repivoting strategies that you learned in the course, being able to confidently approach them and seal a bigger deal. 3, understanding, hey, that investment that you put into yourself, paid itself off times probably 6, right? Like that much and more. And then you have lifetime access. So like, you'll just continue to be, it's like, that's why it's so important to look at it as an investment. if it's going to help you get, you know, other deals and understand, okay, whitelisting, doubling my, you know, whatever your rates are. Like, I remember on the call, we came up with your rates. We were able to like really figure out a good strategy for that. So it's like, it's just so exciting. So that really gets me all excited for you. That's the thing though, you've invested in yourself though. Like, I think you've always treated yourself like a business, but you've also invested in yourself, in your growth, in your learning. I know you're part of like our membership program, Sidewalker Daily's Inner Circle. I believe you've done our pitching program, our Pitching to Brands Master course. Like, I think you've like invested like your, not only financially, but like in the growth of your business. So like, you're now at a point that you're seeing positive ROI on your own investment, right? Because people kind of find, I think a lot of creators get stuck in that transition. Like, should I invest in myself? Should I, you know, I want this, but I don't know how. So maybe you could kind of talk a little bit about, I guess, Sidewalker's role in helping you put it all together, like lift off, because you have the passion, you have the work ethic. Like, we didn't do any of that, you know, like that's all you know how to do, you know how to connect with your audience, you know how to do the things, but how did our role, I guess, kind of help, you know, launch you to that next phase?
I would definitely say Sidewalker helped a lot in terms of like my confidence, I guess, like as a content creator. I don't mean like confidence in the sense of like, you know, I'm terrible at this, like I need someone to tell me I'm good at this, but just kind of like going through the courses, especially doing the Pitching to Brands master course and the media kit and more, all of that type of stuff, like just being able, like not Sidewalker, just like Nina and Clarice, but like also the community itself, like being able to connect with people that relate to me. And because I mean, I have friends and family and I can tell them all day what I do and this exciting thing happened and this brand did this, but they're not going to really understand it. They're not going to understand my struggles either. So it's really nice just having Sidewalker and having professionals, I feel like, in this space that I can go to and talk to, and then also other people that are literally in the same boat as me, that are excited for me, have the same struggles, or have the same.
I saw that the other day, like someone was like, you were sharing a win, and someone in the chat was like, oh yeah, girl, like we saw it, you know. So I saw in the chat, like people already knew what you were gonna like share, and I'm like, you know, so clearly their friendships formed, or like digital cheerleaders, so to speak, people saying like, yes, you got this, like people like kind of wanting each other, helping each other succeed, which is probably also like my favorite thing about the community as well. Before we get into wins, because I think that's really something exciting, and I do want to ask you also about the cons, because let's be real, what we do is hard. In terms of your next steps for you and your brand, where do you see the melanin method going? Like, what are your dreams and visions for your brands? Because I'm like excited. I'm like, am I getting an interview with someone like before? like, what do you see it going for you?
I definitely see it like, I mean, I definitely value like content creation more than like influencing. So I would love to just keep working on like making really good content. It's something that I'm more focused on than just like the engagement and the numbers and things like that, because that's what I really like. But in terms of like a long-term goal, I would love to be like kind of the expert in my industry, or just the person that people go to when they're new to the industry of skincare and specific. And then being an esthetician, like I would love to maybe start some sort of trend, I guess, maybe in terms of like with working with brands and estheticians, like offering services through the brands, or just working for the brands and like as an esthetician, if that makes any sense. I mean, like that's just another selling point, or I guess another value I can add to the brand in terms of like my pitch and stuff. So not just being like, yeah, I'm an esthetician, like I'm knowledgeable, but also like, let me do like a giveaway and we can give away a virtual consultation with your products, or something like that would be really cool too. So
yeah. Well, I have no doubt that you're going to get there. I think that, you know, with your work ethic, and you're just like, you go after it, you know. And I always say, like, for me, just like on a personal note, there's something so rewarding working with someone who is so hungry. Like, I feel like you're focused and dedicated and determined and hungry, like you want it, you know? And I've worked with so many people enough to know, like, I always say, I want to work with people who are going to like to win big, because I truly fundamentally, when you guys win, like we win. Like my passion, when people are like, what are you passionate about? My passion is making impact in other, you know, other entrepreneurs' lives. Like I want to help other people thrive. Like that's really important to me. So when I see someone like you, I'm like, oh, she's perfect because she's going to do the work, you know, not just not fall into the learning trap, which is buying a course because you're excited and then not doing the work behind it, you know? And we've all done that. Like I bought courses before and like, you know, like not done that. So I just think just shout out to you and your work ethic and, you know, really having that mentality of getting it done. So I'm really excited for you. Any words of wisdom, I guess, for other creators before we sign off, like people maybe just starting or people who are just kind of like, I want to do this. Am I too late? I hear that a lot. People thinking like they missed the boat, or they, you know, any words of encouragement to someone watching and is like wanting to do, you know, and see the results that you're starting to see.
I would say just do it. I know it's like easier said than done, but just do it. If you have an idea for something, or just, you know, whether it's like a huge idea or just like literally one video or you just like one post, like just do it, create it. It's a lot of trial and error. Like that's just how it is. Like you're not going to just post it and then go viral. I mean, you might, but in reality that usually doesn't happen. And you have to remember a lot of these people that you might look up to that are influencers or creators or whatever in your niche, they probably have been working on it for at least a year, if not longer, from like the results that they're seeing. They didn't just create an account, took like a month, and then like, oh, I have all these comments and people DM me every day and these views and brands want to work with me. Like just do it, and just try not to let other people's perceptions of being a content creator and influencer deter you. Because I feel like if that would have been me and I would have listened to my parents 100%, I would not be where I've been wanting to be and been dreaming of being for like the past couple years at this point. So
oh my gosh, I feel like this is like bringing me back, because I love that advice, because I feel like sometimes when have a fire burning within you, you know, you almost just have to march to the beat of your own drum. You know, it's not saying going against family, that's not what I'm promoting here, but it's more finding a way to set your soul on fire and feel like you're living with purpose, you know? And I think to your point, you're just like, just do it, you know, and it's going to take a long time and it's not going to be easy, but it's worth it when you then hit like these nice rewards. And this is like arguably I think it's like your first, is it one of your first paid, would you say, like
ever? Paid ever. I've never pitched a brand like ever.
Yeah, so. And imagine this is from an incoming lead, right? This is from someone who's reaching out to you. What's going to happen when you start pitching to others and start, you know, putting that brand as a case study in your media kit, or getting a testimonial from them, or working with them again and upping the fee and doing something bigger? I mean, who knows, right? So I think that I love that this is like your first partnership, because a lot of times, believe it or not, people have taken the Pitching to Brands Master Course, and that I wish I have to get data on it, but the amount of people that leave getting their first paid gig, and it's almost like you'll never forget your first paid gig, because it's almost like your first paid dollar in your business, you know, like you're able to, there's something about once you start getting paid that you'll A, not go back to free, and B, start pushing yourself to reach a new level of excellence. Like now a 6-month retainer is like, nah, I want it to be like, you know, because that's the human spirit, because we're hungry and we want to grow. So just by virtue, you're going to like get momentum, you know what I mean? Like, but you need that gig to get you the momentum. So I'm really pumped for you. I'm excited. Thank you again for sharing your journey with us and letting us be a part of it.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to Skywalker.